सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Okay, so last time we had seen verses 68 and 69. As we go forward, it will be even more subtler and subtler, and I am presuming that people are already reading the subsequent verses, so that it will be more like a assimilation session when we have the satsang. First of all, I'll give an opportunity to people to ask any question from the previous sessions. Then we can go to 70th verse. In case there is any question, we can probably go through that first. Okay, so then we can continue. I don't see any question there. I have not seen any hand going up. Okay. So now 70th verse says, Satyam yadi syat Jagadetad Atmano Anantatva Hanihi Nigama Apramanata. It's a composite word there. Asatyavaditvamapi Yishituhu Syad Netat Trayam Sadhuhu Hitam Mahatmanam. Okay. So this is the verse 70 in this book. And I think there is a running number given of the original work as well. So in the original work, this comes as 234th verse out of about 586 verses. So I'll read the immediate translation, what's given here first. If this world were to be real, then there would be damage to the limitlessness of the Atma, loss of Veda's validity as a pramana, and the position of Lord becoming one who speaks untruth. All these three are neither proper nor wholesome to great people. Okay, see, there can be one doubt coming up here. So in summary, what is said here? World is mithya is what is being discussed as such. Anything other than that Atma is ever changing. They are all put into anitya basket. Now there are so many points that were given as logic to say that yes, the anitya, why it is anitya. So from an inquiry perspective, there was enough that was mentioned until now, including Panchakosha and its anityatva, in terms of things come and go, in terms of this prana maya kosha, it was mentioned ganta aganta vayuvat antarbahireshah. So it comes and goes. I mean, it's not so nitya. And it was also mentioned, Yasmat kinchi na veti ishtam anishtam. Swam va anyam va nityam paratantraha. So it was mentioned that though prana is something which sustains the body, beyond that it doesn't do anything because it lacks many attributes. So one of the attributes is that it can't even understand what is its and what is others. So that also it doesn't understand actually. So the cognitive ability is not there, it's more a mechanical function. So the cognitive ability is not there in it. So there were many things which were pointed out by taking up the Panchakosha model, and Anityatva was spelt out very clearly, and its inability or incapability to be that Satya, Pratyagatma was mentioned very clearly. So that was more from inquiry perspective. Now, this line says that if world was taken to be real, if that is the real status, then entire thing what Shastra says will be false. And Shastra itself is Maya, and Maya comes from Brahman. So basically, entire Shastra itself comes from Lord only. So, if world kind of becomes Satya, if it gets the status of Satya, it will indirectly mean that what Shastra says is wrong. So, Lord from whom Shastra comes will also be falsified in terms of a person saying something which is not true. So, this definitely cannot be the status. We are looking at that Vastu which is everything and which cannot have such limitations. So indirectly here what is said is that in case this Jagat has this real status of Satya in terms of being Nitya, then all that what we are pursuing in Shastra will become meaningless, and Lord will become a person who can say lies. Okay, so all this definitely is not like, they're not auspicious, and it's not right on a person who talks truth to tell such Shastra. So basically even the Guru will be falsified because Lord himself is falsified. So that is the reason one should never say that Jagat is true, because the moment you say Jagat is Satya, all these things are implied. So never say that, is what is mentioned here. One can kind of take an inference from this to some extent. Someone can say that, okay, if I have to say that Jagat is Anitya only because it is said in Shastra, then where is that inquiry part? So that question actually has to come in everyone's mind. So we have to understand the context in which it is said. So basically this is talking about Shraddha. So I think Shankaracharya definitely realized that by the time people would come to this original verse of 234, they may forget Sadhana Chatushtaya. He's bringing in Sadhana Chatushtaya back into focus, and he's saying that, because if you say that this Jagat is Satya, all that you are saying is that you do not have Shraddha in what Shastra is saying. So he's bringing back that focus on Shraddha as a value. If you ask me, this is how I interpret this. Otherwise, when it is said that Vastu Siddhi Vicharena, Vastu Siddhi is going to happen only through Vichara, by really dissecting things, understanding what is right, what is wrong, with the help of Shastra, with the guidance of Shastra. When that is happening, one statement which says that don't take Jagat to be real, because if you do that, you will be going against Shastra, you will be falsifying Shastra, which is not good for a good boy or good student, Shraddhavan. So is what is said here actually. So if you ask me, I think we should take it only to that level of this emphasizing Shraddha as a value which gives you energy. So when even in a small class, when in a simple class of mathematics, when you have doubt about something which the person is teaching and we do not understand it, we always have Shraddha that, okay, fine, next time I may understand. So when you ask, sometimes a doubt, the person tries to clarify as well, but still the doubt may not go. But the person would have done his job, right, in terms of clarifying. So it is just that, we have to have some more, chitta shuddhi kind of thing happening there, wherein some other concepts have to be, clarified before this doubt can be clarified. So in time, over time, this doubt gets clarified. Maybe 3 or 4 days later, when the same person, clarifies the doubt, in fact, in the same way, without any change in the method, the doubt gets clarified. It is just that there is an adjustment happening on the other side, on the receiving side as well. So this is the reason, that works. Though the person who's saying is keeping on saying the same thing. Shastra keeps on saying, you are Brahman. Everyone is Brahman. But everyone has the same doubt. ऐसे तो नहीं हो सकता. Alone when we think, नहीं ऐसे बिल्कुल नहीं हो सकता. This is the ashraddha we have normally. But Shastra says very clearly, no boss, you are Brahman. Understand. Come to the next class. You can again deliberate, understand, vichara. You will finally, reach there. Is this the...
Askarji.
Yes.
I have one thing to ask here.
Please.
If this is something, why this even comes as one of the verse? Because this talks absolutely opposite of what we have done. So why is there even a need of talking? This is raising that it is you're to a different direction.
See,
Okay,
yeah, I got a question. In fact, I already thought this question will come, and that's the reason I was already preempting that it's quite possible that when sadhana chatushtaya is mentioned, it goes, it gets diluted during our daily transactions, and over a period, we can miss out on any of those things. Whether it is, Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, any of those things can get diluted. And many a times, during Vichara, when whatever is being clarified in greater details is still not occurring, then someone really gets a doubt saying, boss, ye sab jo bol rahe, is it right or wrong? Is it really making sense or not? Is it true or not? So this doubt can happen. Midway, this doubt can happen because this is so subtle that when it occurs, job is done. When it is not occurring, only thing which keeps a person going on is Shraddha. So it is like, in a marathon, if of maybe 42 kilometers, you don't keep on sipping all the time, whatever glucose you carry. So at times when you are really losing energy, you need the glucose. So basically, this Atma Vichara is nothing short of a marathon. To go through these concepts over years and years, one has to have that stamina, and one gets this stamina through the words of Guru only. So I take it this way, that Shankaracharya has been smart enough to bring about those values again somewhere in between, to say that yes, you have had enough verses related to Vichara, because Vichara is what is going to help the person. However, one has to understand that unless Chitta Shuddhi is there at the right dosage, Vichara is not going to help. In fact, if you see me, I keep repeating that all the time. So if you have a cracker which is wet, no amount of fire is going to really lit it actually. No amount of spark. Even if you put it in fire, it will not. It will take some time to dry first and then only burst actually. So this is what is going to happen. So if you ask me, Shankaracharya is planting one of the sadhana chatushtaya. He is bringing back focus into that point. Right, 234 means it's somewhere around 40-45% of the pursuit. He's bringing that again actually. Otherwise, this sadhana as a focus to gain adhikaratva may be, lost during the way. This is the reason we always have to keep bringing this. So in this line, if you ask me, I see that as the only purpose. Though it is not written anywhere in the verse by Swamiji, but I also internalized, I found that if vichara is the way forward for understanding self, we can never bring a statement saying, hey, if you say that Jagat is real, you are actually going against Vedas. It is not appropriate, so do not do that. So, this statement, if you ask me, cannot be valid from the point of vichara. This is valid only from the point of chitta shuddhi. Nowhere else it can be valid. And certainly Veda as a pramana and Shraddha as an attribute, as a sadhana, is certainly helpful because it is energy. To an extent, I'm not sure if it is in Bhagavad Gita where it is very clearly mentioned in the scriptures, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. The one who has Shraddha definitely gets knowledge. So, to that extent, the value is, emphasized. So, it's very important to bring in that aspect somewhere during the pursuit amidst vichara. So, this line has to be taken, if you ask me, to that level only. So, that's the reason I thought I should give this background. And Manishji, you asked the right question, and I was trying to address the same thing only.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. We'll go to the next verse. Any doubt so far on this? Okay. We'll go to verse 71. Ishvarah vastu tadvagyah na chaham teshu avastitah na cha matsthani bhutani ityevameva vyachi klipat. So the limited translation. The Lord who knows the truth of Brahman declared, I am not in them, no beings are in me. So this line, has to be really expanded. The reference here is given from Bhagavad Gita. So that's where Shankaracharya has picked up this, and he is quoting Lord Krishna here actually. So there are different ways of saying things, and Vedanti can explain things for each of those lines. If, for example, so now whatever is said here is, set of two verses, but if you see, Swamiji himself has brought in many more lines inside as well, and he has explained them. So, when Lord Krishna says that, I am not in them, okay, so what it means is that he is not stuck in them. That's what it means actually. See, normally when we say, like for example, we are at home. So when we are saying we are at home, this entire Panchakosha along with Chit and everything as a package is physically located in a place. This is the general understanding we have. That's what mind understands. From that understanding only we have to really validate these statements. So if Krishna has to be available in someone, is he stuck like that? Because normally as a person, wherever we are at one place, we are not at the other place. It's very clear. We are located to a particular place. That's how the GPS works. But the GPS concept does not work for the Lord, because he is the entire thing actually. So to the totality, you can't have an app to identify the totality, because any app is in that only. So to give that concept, one can make a statement that Lord is not in these things what you see. To that extent you can say, because he is not stuck in any of these things at a total unit, because he is the totality in which everything is existing. So that is the angle in which that statement is made. Now let's make an opposite statement. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahmasi is also a statement made. All that is here is Brahman only. Okay. Now, in line with that, one can say Lord is in everything here. Basically, Lord is everything. That word in normally creates a confusion. Okay. Lord is everything. And then you make another statement, Lord is in everything. Because mind cannot understand that statement, Lord is everything. Then mind will have another question, in what way, how, these things have to come. That's where inquiry comes into picture. So, to tell mind, one has to say Lord is in everything. Atma is in everything. This is where those lines come actually. Atma is everything. And if one has to say Atma is in everything, in every being Atma is, this is all meant for mind to assimilate the concept. That's all. But it is not ultimate. When for example, when I say the Lord lives in my heart, yes, to the extent that any tattva is blessed by that Lord, as much as possible, I am also having the same tattva which is basically activating me. To that extent, I can say Lord is living in my heart. But it does not mean that he is mutually exclusive. If he is available in me, he is not available to others or to other things. That does not work that way. That is not true as well actually. He is as much blessing others as much he is blessing me. And he is as much blessing Anatma Vastu as much he is blessing Atma Vastu. Atma Vastu in the sense living beings I am saying, not in the sense of the ultimate Atma. So he blesses the non-living beings as much as he blesses the living beings as well. Here, if you take space, basically space example is taken up later in Vivekachudhamani, but in this context space is very useful to take as an example. See, when we say space is in everything, it is true. At the same time, when we say everything is in space, that is also true. Okay? Isolated, these statements are true. But if someone raises a question that, okay, space is in everything, so if space is in one particular thing, to that extent, is it now total space minus that size? Will be the question. When there is a form coming out, has this pot taken away that space? So now mathematically is space, total space, which is probably x, you can say, minus pot space. Does it have this kind of a status? The answer is no. Because pot space, it is occupying space, but it is not abducting space. It cannot abduct space. It can only occupy space. To that extent, space is intact. Space is intact. So, space is in that. Okay? Should be taken in the sense that in everything space will be there always. And that does not mean that that space is taken away by this form which is existing in space, and space itself has become limited after letting out a part of it. It is not like, Pakistan occupied Kashmir is given out and India is now minus that. And we have to really say Akhand Bharat is including that. So it is not like that actually. Space is a continuing entity. It is indivisible. It is all pervasive. It is all potent. All the time. So any statement you make there, it's contextual. It will be true when explained. So this is how it works.
But sir,
Yes.
this also becomes a kind of a, like, to me it has become a contradictory statement.
Okay.
In the sense that I am not in them, no are in me. What I understand is that I am a part of that only, and he is into everything. He is Sarvavyapi, and I am nothing but a part of him. Only him. So that's what mera to, like, I don't have any existence. I am only a part of him, and he is in me, and I am in him.
Okay.
So to me, in my mind, it is becoming a little bit of contradictory statement. The Lord who knows the truth of Brahman declares, I am in them. So,
see,
no being me. So it is, I am slightly...
Yes. So we have to go back. We have to go back to the definition of Atma. So definition of Atma is more in the context of this body, mind, sense complex and identifying Atma within this, isolating Atma within this. So this was the exercise we did when we went through threadbare Panchamaya Kosha model, where Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, all these we identified as Idam, this. And that Aham part was identified as that, that Atma. And Atma's definition, as I quoted always from Tattva Bodha, is Stula Sukshma Karana Sharirad Vyatirikta, Panchakosha Atita, San Avastatraya Sakshi, Satchijananda Swarupaha, Sanyastishtati Sa Atma. The one which is of the nature of Sat Chit Ananta. So Ananta, the one which is endless, without any end. And one which is of the nature of happiness, one which is Sat, one which is of the nature of Chit, obtaining as Chit in this body also right now. Okay, that is what was pointed out as Atma. Now, all that we need to do is, us, when we say we should come out of this idea of this body, mind, sense complex. When you take yourself to be in this package of body, mind, sense complex, this question of in, out, everything comes in. That's where mind plays this role. The moment you understand yourself to be that Atma, and that Atma is of the nature of Sat, Chit, Ananda, Ananta, then this doubt goes off.
Yes.
So, if Atma has its own existence everywhere, if Atma is Sarvavyapi, and if Atma is Satya, then we are talking about Lord who also has the same qualities. He is also Satya, he is also Sarvavyapi. Then the question comes, then he is also Sarvavyapi, I am also Sarvavyapi. Is there a difference between these two? That's where the point is no.
No.
That's where the point is no. So, basically, Jiva is equal to Parama. In no measure, it is less. That's the reason Krishna, Lord Krishna, is elevating the person's understanding, elevating that person to his level actually. From a mental idea, we have this boundaries. That's how mind works. Geometry, everything is all like a bondage and boundary only for mind. So now mind will be thinking the way it always thinks. All that mind can be trained to do is to identify its limited capacity in terms of its own thinking ability and give up bondage and ignorance. Thereby the Vastu which is always there, on which this mind is dependent, is always free. It has been ever free. So that point alone Lord Krishna has to poke. That point where bondage is happening, that point where the sense of limited, being limited is coming in, setting in, that point only he has to poke. You would have heard about this Varma Kale. There's this martial arts, where a person looks at those nerve points and he only touches, maybe even with a toothpick kind of a tip, only that much is required. You just touch there, the person, is kind of paralyzed. So they can do that actually. I mean, this kala exists. So you don't have to do, you don't have to put, kind of a nuclear bomb to kill like the way they did, for Saddam Hussein and all. I mean, he was hiding in the bunkers and they had to put kind of bombs and to, eliminate him. So to actually destabilize a person, you don't need to do so many things. Just find the real nerve point, and these nerve points people know. Touch that, automatically this person is ideally anesthesious kind of, or he loses sense, or one of his part loses its ability. Similarly, in this entire body mind sense complex, Krishna need not use a Brahmastra at all. If at all Brahmastra is used, in fact I keep saying this, when you say by using Brahmastra Jagat will get destroyed, basically when the nature of Brahman is revealed to a person and understood by a person, Jagat is already killed. This is what it means when one person, when it is said that Brahmastra kills the world, that's what it means. Understanding Brahman, if you ask me, You take that as the figurative thing actually. So normally Brahmastra, the way it is used is more Brahmaji as the Lord, it is that Astra made by him or given by him. Normally you can see. So I am now seeing a Vedantic interpretation of that. Brahman, knowledge of Brahman, when it is told to Jiva, that enables Jiva to understand Mithyatva, Anityatva of Jagat. It helps Jiva to understand that. And the entire world of limitations, the entire world of geometrical limitations in terms of one's understanding of size and everything is presented only through this Maya and this mind only. The moment that weak area is poked, automatically then the entire world is open. And you are just this entire thing what you see. All possibilities here is existing in space only. To this extent mind can understand it. And then mind has to elevate itself to the next level that this entire space is me. Simple. That's where the debonding, removal of that boundary is happening in that vritti. In that akhanda vritti where one understands oneself to be beyond this particular boundary of skin and flesh. That's where the transformation is happening. When that is happening in that vritti, actually what is happening, mind understands its wrong sense of being limited. Just it leaves it there. Akhanda vritti automatically is there in that. The other side of it is akhanda vritti. That's all. Once mind understands that I am taking myself to be a limited thing within this body, located in this body, whereas my nature is Atma, not this Panchakosha. Panchakosha is basically making me understand that I am limited, and that is why I conclude that I am limited. And the moment I am limited, I have the world which I have to face. And when I see the enormity of world, I have to also understand that yes, there is one creator who has certainly created this world as well as me. So that's where this model of Triputi comes into picture. The moment I dispel this Panchakosha as idam, anything other than myself, and when I arrive at my pure self, like the way you enrich uranium to get that to that particular stuff actually from where energy can be released. When you arrive at yourself as that Pratyagatma, minus any of this kalmisha, any of this vikalpa, any of this mala. So when you are nirmala, completely coming to that level, Pratyagatma, Shuddha Chaitanya. So basically, to indicate what is that Chaitanya. Chaitana is oneself. And Chaitana is devoid of anything. Chaitana is devoid of anything. It does not depend on anything for that matter, just as much as space. But space is dependent on Chaitana. From a mind perspective, from this world perspective, worldly perspective, what we have of 3 dimension, space is an amazing thing that is very clearly perceived by mind itself to be all pervasive and all potent. It holds so many galaxies, so it is all potent. And it is everywhere, in and through everything. It is an amazing, all pervasive thing. It's very clear. Even to mind it is available. You can see space actually. To that extent it is available. Now go to the next level. This entire space which is omnipotent as well as omniscient is coming out of this self which is omniscient, omnipotent and also, omniscient basically. Omniscience is available only in Chit. That is what Brahman is all about. That is what Chit is all about. Sat, Chit. The Chit part is omniscience. The very cognitive ability is basically based on this Chit only. With this Chit only everything else is happening. You have Shiva and you have Shakti. Shiva is Chit. Shakti is Maya. And Maya is not independent of Shiva. Maya is part of Shiva only. Again we have to say part of Shiva because of the limitation of mind. Maya is Shiva. This is where now for mind certain words are used, like God is in everything. In is used for the purpose of mind to be able to appreciate. Otherwise the statement is God is everything. That's why in being there or not being there does not matter. It's only from the mind perspective it is. So the context in which each statement is said has to be understood.
Understood.
So see, any kind of a wrong notion is being discussed and taken out. Any kind of a wrong notion. So the Shastra identifies where all we can make mistakes. It's a spoon feeding to that extent, if you ask me. So it says that no, you can think that Lord is someone like a vada pav, wherein once that potato is kind of made into a ball and put into one vada. To that extent, that total potato, say that stock is reduced, and now the rest of it is reduced. Mind can think like this. One Krishna has occupied my heart, he is not outside. Mind can think this because it is either me or there. That's what mind normally understands. So Shastra knows this, that mind can only understand to this level. Wherever mind can make mistakes, it kind of spells out the broad spectrum of mistakes that mind can commit, and it points out those and it pokes. You think this way? It's quite possible you think this way. That's the reason I'm pointing it out to you. Take that thinking out. Remove the wrong thinking. Basically, Shastra is only helping in identifying the wrong thinking and eliminating them. In terms of right thinking, in terms of the Vastu, it is already available. It's already available. It is like, I think I gave this example earlier. When you get this ATM pin for your bank account, the pin is already available. Like, in Tamil, pin means backside actually. So we can say pin pakkam, it's already available actually, we can say. So the pin is already available. The only thing is you have to scratch that wheel which is provided, deliberately that is provided so that everyone cannot see it. So you have to just scratch that with a coin or whatever. The moment you scratch that carbon stuff which is on that, specifically provided layer, number is already available there. Krishna is already available everywhere. And now when we say everywhere, it is for mind. That's the reason we have to say everywhere. He is everywhere only, all the time. He is everywhere, we should say. Okay, so what does everywhere mean? Then we should say, no, he is also in you. Okay, if he is in me, has he, reduced his quantity to others? If Krishna is 100, supposing there are 100 people, do I have 1 unit of Krishna? These questions can come. There one has to be very clear. Krishna is available as a total unit in everything. Then again mind will get confused. How come, boss? If he is 100, if he is in me, I am a small entity. There are another 99 units which are equally small. Maybe some of them are big, probably. So ideally when he is, coming into us, he should be, proportionately occupying us. This question can come because mind can think this way. So that's when one has to say that, boss, he is not in you. The moment it is said, he is in you, these questions will come. Then, to remove that wrong thinking, in terms of again being bound, one has to make the opposite statement. To shatter, to shatter that thinking, no, he is not in you. The next statement is, he is not in you. Boss, just now you said he is in me. I said he is in you. And then you create your own idea of that in actually. So now I have to make you understand, make you come out of the wrong thinking. So I have to make another statement. He is not in you. Why are you saying he is not in you? Then the thing says that, boss, he is not in you in the sense that he is not stuck in you. He is not reduced his size to come to you so that the residual becomes little lesser than that. So understand that. Okay. Then we have to ask the next question. Okay. So first statement was, he is in me. And when I asked you saying, okay, is he of that, proportionate size of, my heart, for example, if he is in my heart? Then the answer is no. If he is in you, he is always fully available in you as Krishna, not only his flute in you, not only his hand in you, he is everything in you. That's what his capability is. Then the question is how. That how is very simple. That's where we can say space as an example, which comes later in Vivekachudhamani. That's why I keep taking space as an example, because that's an amazing thing. When we say a pot has space in it, okay, space is not reduced in any way. The space has just accommodated that pot. And a pot occupies a given space at a given time. Okay, when it is moved to another place, it just occupies another space. The space is not cut out like a piece of cake and it is carrying it all through along. No. Why? Because space is a continuous entity, it cannot be broken. At the same time, space is available with all its attributes in a particular thing which it accommodates. Space has every quality of it. Space, homogeneity, and indivisibility is very clearly available when it is lending its existence to things. It does not become divisible at all. It's such an amazing thing. For example, for example, if you take water, it can be reduced to particles, and of course, what obtains will be only space after that, to that extent. If you take gas, again they can be completely dismantled to understand them as particles, right? If you go to atomic level, in that also you have all these three things, right? You have proton, neutron, electron, and each of them, for them to be identifiable, definitely they should have space in between them. If there was no space in between them, you can't even identify them as proton, neutron, electron. So space is all through, everywhere, at the atomic level, at the particle level also. Being at all these levels, amidst all this power which is there, to the extent of even nuclear power, no, but nuclear power is in the nucleus, and the space is exposed to all these powers. If Brahmastra was released, Shakti Astra was released, many galaxies collided each other, you have a black hole, whatever happens, everything is happening in space, and space remains untouched, unblemished. Space has no problem of carbon. In space there is carbon, and space can exist without carbon also. But space is independent of these things, right? That is a very, very similar thing which Lord also has as the status. You can understand one thing: if space has this kind of an amazing attribute of being such a homogeneous thing, in everything space is available as a totality. You can imagine, with only two attributes of being omnipotent and being omnipresent, right? Omnipresence automatically means homogeneous. It is just an homogeneous entity. That's the reason it's available everywhere, right? So only with these two attributes, it's like a superhero. It just cannot be touched. You can imagine one more attribute when it comes, that is chitta, which is where this entire vichara is happening. We are the chitta, we are the jiva, which has the chit as a predominant quality or predominant attribute which is available. I mean, I'm using some words which may be totally wrong in Vedanta. Chit is never an attribute. From a mind perspective, I am saying all these things. So when this living thing, jiva, has anatma, which is all this, material thing which can keep changing, plus this atma, which is that which has this capability of inquiry. The entire Panchakosha, wherein you use Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, this Sukshma Sharira is an amazing blessing, again Anatma, but it can borrow this power of Chit and create this entire experience of understanding. That's an amazing thing actually. So one has to understand that just like the space, where when it blesses this entire Jagat, it never undergoes any change. Space can always say both the statements. I am in all of them. Definitely right. Because at the atomic level also you have space. No problem. And then it can always say another perspective also, because the moment that atom thinks, boss, I have captivated you, then space has to show that atom saying, boss, you are an atom. Please understand. And there is a universe wherein there are millions and trillions and whatever atoms, and I am in each of them as well, and I am not stuck in any of these things. If you think I am stuck in you, your understanding has to be corrected. Please correct your understanding. I am in you At the same time, I am not restricted in you. I am totality. You are in me. Similarly, oh, the moment atom is told that you are in me, then you'll say, oh, you mean to say I am such a small thing and I am in you. Then as a jiva, that Shastra has to tell us saying, no, you take yourself to be the particle which can actually undergo a change. When a nuclear reaction happens, it just undergoes a change. Of course, energy can be modified. You do not have the same appearance again. You will be somewhere, but again you will be in me only. But this form will not be there. So please understand, you keep changing. Then what remains permanent in you? Space. So is that there with you right now? Yes. So understand and shift your awareness from material to space. Automatically you are me. To that extent, you are not in me, you are me. Until the time you do not understand, until the time you have this alpatva, alpa akaratva as an understanding, you will always use the word in. I am in you. You are saying you are in me because you take yourself to be that particle. Are you that particle? No. Identify me in you. Identify the space which I am in you. You are that, not the changing particle. Please understand. Just shift the identity. You are already there. You are not in me. You are me. Because every space point is space. Total space. Because space cannot be divided at all into such particles. In a TV, we have a holistic thing. That's a Jagat actually. Almost, TV shows this Jagat amazingly. Any screen for that matter, LED, whatever screen, it shows Jagat. This entire thing, Jagat, is portrayed there as a combination of pixels. So, there are, I think when you buy a TV, it will say, this is the number of pixels which is there in that. Those pixels are putting up a world and you enjoy, you laugh. Actually, someone has to laugh at us while laughing at the TV. Looking at the TV, you see creatures, you see, you get horrified, you see this way also, you close your eyes, everything happens. Emotions based on pixels. Can pixels show world to us? We do agree, we do accept. Yes, mind can always accept as an entertainment, but not beyond that. If one has to really be crying after watching a movie, okay, emotions take over, that's fine. But they will not apply for a leave, to organization saying, boss, I want to cry for another 2 days. I'm really emotional. So I will not come to office. Itna tak level gaya, so there is something wrong. Utna bhi nahi karna chahiye. And we don't do that. So in the case of world which we see through TV, put up by pixels, we can have only that much attachment, but we still have an attachment there. We have to take this world as pixels only. And the beauty is, in this case, the pixel concept, if at all you attach it to space as the background, space is not at all reducible to the level of pixel at all. You can't say, if you take space, as a lab, maybe 1 square inch as an example, 1 square inch to 2 dimension hoga, 1 cubic inch. If you take that 1 cubic meter or whatever, and then try to see, is this made of particles of space, not particles of material, particles of space, you won't find it at all. That is the kind of partlessness that space has. That is the kind of partlessness which space has. This is the reason, if any ounce of space, ounce is again a word from mind perspective, because we have to use a measure. That's how mind works. Now we have to go beyond that, ideally, if you ask me. Any ounce of space you take, it is indivisible from its second ounce. It is indivisible. From that angle, from that standpoint, space can say anything. Following. I am in you. I am not in you. You are in me. You are not in me. These 4 statements, now I ask you to think over and let me know which of these statement is wrong from the space perspective from our discussion now. This will be very interesting. I'll open up the discussion. If someone is talking without unmuting,
there cannot be I am not in you. Like from the space perspective, like it cannot be. There cannot be any place where there cannot be space.
Correct.
Space is into everything.
Correct.
But space is not limited to that space.
Correct. Absolutely. So you are saying, okay, so let us write down the statements, so that I would have loved if, we could have had a screen sharing. Okay, so we made 4 statements. One is space saying, I am in you. Second statement is the opposite, I am not in you. So you are saying that I am in you makes sense. First point is strict. Everyone else agree to this?
Yes. Yeah.
Anyone who is not agreeing to the statement when space says I am in you? Okay, I hear a no from Ramya here, and anyone else who's not agreeing to the statement? Yes, Ashish, you want to say something?
So as per your earlier explanation, it was yes and no both, because when we say yes, then other person try to define that, okay, it means then overall it is reduced. So it means it's not reduced overall, so it's a no. So it's a yes and no. Yes, if you are thinking at a high level, but no, if you are starting to believe that it's a limited quantity and it will reduce.
Correct. I think that's where the perspective and standpoint is very important. So we'll see isolated statements and then see from what perspective it is validated. Okay. The first point is that when space says I am in you. Okay. Take each one as particle wherein space is saying I am in you. So we heard that point that everyone agree that yes, that statement is correct. Now we will see the opposite. Space is saying I am not in you. Just dwell on this statement. And then say whether it is right in your opinion or wrong in opinion. If right, why? If wrong, why? Space is saying I am not in you.
I am not limited to you.
Yes, you said it. Yes. Others?
I'm not just limited in you.
I
am present everywhere.
Yes.
So everything else is in me.
Yes. So basically, the supplementing has to happen in terms of words. So when space says I am not in you, it is saying I am not just in you. I am not limited. I am not limited by your presence. Actually, that's what it means. I am not stuck in you forever. So that's what it means. I am not in you. So if you see certain statements, they have to be seen, in the right perspective. So when we see the right perspective, you have to supplement some words. Then I think the meaning becomes much more easier, because these are all elevator speech. So in elevator speech, you can only say as much. So unfortunately, or fortunately, you have elevator speech, because that is when quickly it can be communicated. See, when Yuga Pralaya is happening, in 1 second world is going to go out. Okay? In that at that moment, a person is given an opportunity. A Vedanti has to give knowledge to the other guy. And it is presumed that the other guy is going to continue, he is going to survive the Mahapralaya, and the person who knows the knowledge has to give a handover to the other person. And the world is going to go down in 1 second or 2 seconds. You can imagine what kind of brevity that person has to keep in terms of loading the statement and give. This is where Om comes very handy. Om comes very handy. How? Om, Avu, Im, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. So as much as possible, you have this entire world where things appear, sustain, go. In these appearances, all the 3 can be also explained. But still, for mind, Avu, Im becomes much easier. Now, okay, the person has taken over this Avu, Im. To some extent, he knows Avu, Im is Brahma, Vishnu, Shivam. And then he keeps meditating. Then simple thing is, as you say Om, Om is basically Jagat which keeps coming and going. The person who is objectifying Om is the Tattva. That's all. He is obtained there. So when an elevator speech has to happen, it will be crisp. So when Krishna says, I am in you, you are not in me, it has to be understood little bit elaborate with the right supplement. So now we saw that statement, space saying I am in you and I am not in you. We said both are valid from different perspectives. Now let's see the other statement. Space says,
Sir, one more
yeah.
thing. You said that pralay in 1 second everything will, but that also is not going to affect anyway the space. It will still be within. So, even if the pralay happens, it does not affect the space.
Of course, yes. Yes, of course, yes. That statement is correct. I agree with you. Even that handover is happening in space only. So, see, as of now, let's understand space I have taken as an example, but we are pursuing Brahman, which is beyond space. Okay, we are taking space as an example because even at the level of space, whatever is said here can be decoded. We have to go to the next level, which is much bigger than space actually, because space is a tattva in that. The entire Panchabhuta, they come from Brahman. You have Brahman, Maya and Panchabhuta. So, of that Panchabhuta, the Prathama Panchabhuta, the first one is space. Because of ignorance comes space. Because of Maya comes space. So, we are just taking that as an example. And then we are saying at the space level itself, everything here, what is said here makes sense. Most of it.
Correct.
Right. That's the reason I'm taking space as an example. So, from that angle also, definitely, yes, when Pralaya happens, everything goes off, ideally including space. If you ask me. This is where, the mind's thinking has to be corrected. Normally, we think when pralaya happens, everything goes off, we still remain as a thinker. We keep ourselves as a thinker, as a panchakosha, as it is, not as the witness. The moment you take yourself to be the witness pratyagatma, Jagat goes off. Jagat goes off. Space will not remain. Jagat includes space, actually. So, that is why repeatedly it is said, when mind resolves in Sushupti, the idea of space and time both are gone. This entire world of transactions, entire world of perception, including inference, they are used, they are perceived only through these two measures, space and time. Kala nimitta, Kala Akasha. Only these two basically form the basis of our entire understanding. And as long as mind is there, these concepts also, work along with it. When mind is resolved, both these, they do not work at all. Because basically the chit is used by mind to show that yes, I am something who is working, I understand all these things. And when mind is resolved, now there is no user of any concept, any tattva that is there. Everything is resolved. Everything is available to me only, right? I have to only interpret. So it is not available. So in Sushupti, when mind is completely resolved, there is no dream happening. You just become there. I mean, the moment mind is resolved, all concepts are just there, not being used. To that extent, you can say. So what is happening is, space and time becomes zero. Even in Sushupti, you understand this actually. Similarly, when we understand ourselves to be everything, a second thing does not exist. Anything other than oneself, including conceptual, is a Dvaita. That is what we are removing. The Dvaita Bhava alone we are removing. We are bringing in Aikya Bhava. That's when the Dvaita Bhava will go off. We are just following this trick, and that's what Upanishads is teaching us. And now let us dwell on the second two statement. We are at 7:30. Can we dwell on the second two statement, or we should? Shall we finish the session? If someone wants the second two statement to be enabled, we can do.
We can go second.
Okay, fine. It will be a quick thing. We can finish. So when when space says you are in me, is it right or wrong? Why right? Why wrong?
I'm accommodating you.
Hmm.
You are
Hmm.
I'm everywhere, so I can accommodate even you.
Huh. So you heard what Amya said? She said that space is basically saying that I'm everywhere and I'm accommodating you, you are in me. So that's the sense in which it is saying. So the statement is right?
Yes.
Okay. The answer is yes, the statement is right. The view is statement is right. So anyone here who wants to say the statement is wrong? I think no one will volunteer because they have to explain. If someone is saying the statement is wrong, they can unmute and say. Otherwise, I say silent. To amount to acceptance. Okay, fine. Now, when space says you are not in me, how do you view that statement? Is it right or wrong? It is telling to the particle, you are not in me.
Conceptually, I can think of you are not in me, you are me.
Yes, someone was saying something. Manishi, you were saying something? Or Ashish?
Yeah, so when you say you are in me or you are not in me, so like you and me are the same. Is this the meaning?
No. Take one by one. The last statement we said was you are not in me. That's the statement we are taking now.
Because you and me are the same. That's the reason you are not in me.
That's a nice way to put it. I'm not sure if others understood what you said, but that's a nice way to put it.
How, if you are not in me,
You are
how
me.
you yourself will say that you are not in me?
You are me, no?
I have to visualize, or I have to send something to say I am in you or you are not in me. I am not something which is outside.
See, I want to explain what Ashish said just now. When space says this particle, you are not in me, he is saying that it is saying from the angle that it is equal to the space, not in any way smaller than space. So he is saying that you are me, not you are in me. He is saying you are me. To that extent, it is correct, because there the boundary comes because of those particle. The particle being there. You have particle and space being there actually. Particle in space, particle plus space. That's what is happening there. The moment you have matter and antimatter, when they come together, they neutralize. What remains is space. So to that extent, space can say, okay, COVID was there earlier, now it is neutralized, it is not there. So to that extent, you can say you appear in time, you will go away in time. To that extent, you can say you are not in me, because space has been the witness to a time when sun was not there, and to a time when sun is shining. And it will also be a witness to a time when sun will fizzle away. 50 billion years is the life of sun. From that angle, space can say you are not in me, because it is like alumni. You have one teacher working for 30 years in a school. Students come go. So with such a change, if you have to go through Satya, what obtains is students as a concept. That's what happens. Otherwise, relatively, they are not there at all. They are coming going. So from that sense, it can say, and also from the sense that space itself is homogeneous and nothing can actually divide it into anything, and that is how everything is anitya, right? That's how everything is anitya. From that sense, it can say you are not in me. It can say that. Any other perspective from anyone?
Bhaskar, can we give the analogy like, is wave in the ocean or not? Like, can the ocean say that to the wave that you are not in me? Because wave actually is not there. The causal cause and the material cause of the wave is the ocean.
Correct. So that's even more subtle example. Here we took an example where little bit there is a real difference also from a mind perspective. That's the reason I taken this example. Wave example is even more subtler. There the difference is also very subtle.
But wave is also the ocean.
Yes.
So ocean is not the wave, but wave is still the ocean.
Yes. So this is Aikya Bhava. Very good. And definitely that's that's also a line probably it already appeared earlier or it will appear later. Yes. So basically here we can say the particle is the space, but space is not particle because it is not limited there. Particle is space also. Yes, we can say. But wave example is even more seamless actually. There that example is it's just water appearing as wave, and wave is not different from it. That's a superlative example actually. But here I wanted to give a little lesser example where the difference can be felt even better. Particle is particle, space is space. So that's the reason I was giving it, because the alpatva what we get is more from a real small particle actually, which is very much there in wave in ocean as well, if you ask me. So it is just different example. So any other perspective? Like I think the statement we are analyzing is you are not in me. So Ashish said one. I think Manish ji is fine with it. Ramya, you want to say something?
I said something, I can't recollect now.
Okay, fine. So if there is nothing else to be shared by others, we can conclude the session with the verse Purnamada. Okay, we'll chant Purnamada. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om. Hari Om all.
Om everybody.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.